the little Professor Book Center and another store are visible on the right side of a street. There is a Pepsi machine as well. There are no cars on the street. Figure 18. 1. There are numerous retail and wholesale channels, including brick-and-mortar stores. Credit Modification of Work, Athens, Ohio by Dan Keck/Flickr, public domain. Chapter Outline, 18.1 Retailing, and the role of retailers in the distribution channel. 18.2 Major types of retailers. 18.3 Retailing strategy decisions. 18.4 Recent trends in retailing. 18.5 Wholesaling. 18.6 Recent trends in wholesaling. 18.7 Ethical issues in retailing and wholesaling. It is no surprise that retailing has changed over the years. In the 1980s and 1990s, big box retailers such as Walmart began opening stores in small towns and forcing local mom-and-pop shops out of business. In the 2000s, with the rise of internet shopping, more brick-and-mortar retailers closed their doors. The COVID-19 pandemic resulted in another wave of retail closures. While future prospects for a number of retail operations appear bleak, many retailers, both new and established, are finding innovative ways to attract customers back into the stores. Precycle is a grocery store in the Bushwick neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. In order to differentiate her store from other local shops, Precycle owner Katerina Bogatyrova decided to focus her efforts on serving a niche market of consumers who are committed to protecting the environment. Shoppers at Precycle can find a wide variety of spices, fruits, grains, pastas, toothbrushes, and many household basics. But what shoppers won't find at Precycle is plastic. Bogatyrova opened the store in an effort to reduce the amount of plastic that is used in retailing. All the items in Precycle are not only free from plastic and sold in bulk, they are locally sourced. 1. Similar types of stores have been popping up throughout the United States. Consumers are more and more aware of the ongoing problem that plastic creates for our oceans and general environment. Additionally, more consumers are becoming locavores, people who purchase food that is locally grown. 2 local and more traditional brick-and-mortar retailers are ideal to meet these consumer demands. Post-pandemic, we may see increased numbers of brick-and-mortar retailers responding to these new consumer demands. Only time will tell. Learning outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. Define retailing. 2. Discuss the functions of retailers in the distribution channel. Retailing defined. When marketers plan their distribution strategies, they must determine which channel is best suited to get their goods and services into the hands of consumers. A distribution channel is a set of businesses that move the product or service from the manufacturer to the end user or buyer. 3. Figure 18. 2. Outlines the most common types of distribution channels for consumer goods. These businesses, often called intermediaries, play important roles in the distribution of goods and services. Intermediaries are companies that act as liaisons between the buyer and seller. These companies can take on a variety of roles to facilitate the transfer of products and services from a manufacturer to the end user. The path that a product or service takes from seller to buyer, including the intermediaries, is called the distribution or marketing channel. The length of the channel, short or long, will depend on many factors, including the product itself. When you first glance at Figure 18.2, it might seem logical for producers to simply provide goods and services directly to the consumer. Imagine that you were thirsty and wanted a cold can of Pepsi. However, you did not have any at home, and retailers did not exist. How would you get your Pepsi? Well, without retailers, you would have to rely on either going directly to the closest Pepsi bottling plant or requesting a Pepsi employee to deliver a can to your home. Can you imagine how costly that would be for PepsiCo? Now imagine doing that for every single product you wish to purchase. Obviously, this seems implausible and almost laughable. While many companies have traditionally utilized longer channels to distribute their products, companies today often use more direct, shorter, channels or multiple channels. When a manufacturer utilizes multiple channels to distribute its product, it's known as an omnichannel strategy. Amazon, for example, uses multiple distribution channels. Some products are sold directly to the consumer, while other products come from independent retailers who then fulfill the order. Consider another example. You are planning a trip with your friends. You have found a Marriott hotel that suits your needs. You may choose to book directly with Marriott through its website or reservation phone number. Alternatively, you may choose to book through a third party, such as hotels.com, or even by calling your travel agent. Marriott is utilizing multiple channels for its service, so it is utilizing an omnichannel distribution approach. Today, even social media plays a role in the distribution channel. Looking at the above example, Marriott might consider utilizing social media as yet another point of contact for the organization's employees and customers to interact. Customers can often book a room and receive customer service directly through the company's social media platforms. 4. As you will learn later, the choice of which distribution channel to use depends largely on the type of product and the manufacturer's strategy. 4 different distribution channels for consumers are shown. In the direct channel, producers deliver to consumers. In the retail channel, producers deliver to retailers, who deliver to consumers. In the wholesale channel, producers deliver to wholesalers. Wholesalers deliver to retailers, who then deliver to consumers. In the agent channel, producers deliver to agents or brokers, who then deliver to wholesalers. Wholesalers deliver to retailers, who then deliver to consumers. All of these channels start with producers and end with consumers. Figure 18. 2 distribution channels for consumer products, attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 40 license. Regardless of how many channel members are included in the distribution channel, retailing is the final stop in the channel before products and services reach the consumer. Retailing is the process of selling goods and services to consumers. As it relates to the distribution channel, retailers do not often manufacture the goods being sold. Rather, retailers buy products from the manufacturing firms or wholesalers and resell them to the consumer. While the number of traditional brick-and-mortar retail establishments has declined drastically over the past few decades, retailers remain an important part of the distribution channel. Retailing entails all activities involved in selling the goods and services to the consumer. In other words, retailers have their own marketing mix plan to accomplish their goals. Because retailing is the final link between the manufacturer and consumer, retailers have as much incentive to sell products as those who produce the product. The functions of retailing in the distribution channel. Retailing has many important functions in the distribution channel. Consider Target, a general merchandise retailer with stores in all 50 states and the District of Columbia, as well as locations across the globe. 5. Target offers a wide variety of consumer goods in each of its large brick-and-mortar locations. In addition to what we, as consumers, see when shopping at Target, there are many other important functions for Target and other retailers in the distribution channel. See Figure 18.3. Let's look at these functions in detail. The functions of retailers are to provide consumer feedback, provide assortment, buy in bulk, store inventory, provide convenience to consumers, and provide services to consumers. Figure 18. 3 functions of retailers, attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 40 license. Provide assortment. Retailers provide assortment for consumers. Assortment simply refers to the number of options in a given product category or the number of products offered. Consider the Pepsi beverage example from earlier in the chapter. What if you weren't sure which drink you wanted? Rather than go directly to a Pepsi bottling plant, you decide to go to Target, where you will find an assortment of drink varieties and brands to choose from. Target also offers a wide variety of other products. So, while you are there, you decide to purchase your drink and some home furnishings and groceries. The assortment of brands and products in general gives the consumer options and convenience, something most consumers value in their busy lives. Many large retailers also offer their own brand of products. This allows the company to provide competing options to consumers at different price points, typically lower than the name brands. For example, Walmart offers various name brands of acetaminophen, one being the more popular brand Tylenol, and the other a lower-priced, comparable product labeled Great Value. By providing multiple purchase options, the retailer is able to target more than one consumer market. Buy in bulk. Because retail establishments are often large and have ample storage, they are able to purchase and sell items in bulk. Consider the quantity of one product such as Pepsi 12 packs, that Target has on its shelves. In addition, the store has stock in the back room for when the shelves are empty. Target's ability to buy in bulk allows it to serve a large number of consumers at any given time. From a broader standpoint, consider the number of Pepsi 12 packs that the entire Target store network purchases in a given week. Target's ability to purchase such large quantities allows it to negotiate lower prices with PepsiCo and other channel members. In turn, retailers can provide consumers with lower prices than if the consumer purchased directly from Pepsi. Store inventory. The ability of retailers to hold inventory allows them to quickly restock shelves, or, in the case of internet retailers, get the product shipped quickly. This allows consumers the convenience of being able to get an item as quickly as possible. Provide convenience to consumers. Retailers provide a considerable amount of convenience to consumers. Consider the distance from your home or work to your closest retailer. For most consumers, retailers are within a few miles. This proximity makes retailers convenient. The process of choosing a retail location for development has become somewhat of a science in recent decades. There are companies that specialize in partnering with retailers to determine the best locations for store placement. To determine locations, things like traffic patterns and demographics are collected and analyzed. 6. A second service that retailers provide is convenient hours of operation. Consider Walmart, which has locations that are open 24 hours, or grocery stores that are open on Thanksgiving morning for last-minute food purchases. Retailers also allow consumers to more closely evaluate a product for purchase. For example, some consumers would much rather purchase clothing items from a brick-and-mortar retailer rather than online because they can feel the texture of the cloth and try the item on to determine if it fits and looks good. Providing services to customers. Most retailers provide services to consumers that are not a core product offering. For example, you can purchase groceries and household essentials at retailers such as Walmart or Kroger. But you can also purchase stamps, buy a lottery ticket, refill your prepaid phone minutes, drop off mail, and in some locations get a haircut or an eye exam and deposit a check at the bank. 7. With the convenience of multiple services, retailers make other tasks more convenient for consumers. While there is an added value to the consumer to have all these services in one location, it's also a benefit to the retailers. For example, the hair salon located inside Walmart has the added benefit of the higher foot traffic inside the store. Since so many consumers are already in the store, they may be more apt to stop in for a haircut. Furthermore, while hair salon owners or individual stylists pay rent on the space inside Walmart, they don't have the overhead that might come with a standalone building. The advantage of this partnership for Walmart is that it receives additional income through the rent paid by the hair salon. The company also may build consumer loyalty since it is providing its consumers with additional convenience by offering these services. Collecting and providing feedback. An important factor in any distribution channel is that of member relationships. Remember that all parties in the distribution channel have a stake in one another's success. Because retailers are the last link between the product and the consumer, they have a unique opportunity to collect feedback from customers and share that with other channel members. This can take many different forms. For example, if you use a loyalty card at your favorite grocery retailer, your purchases are tracked. The data collected is a wealth of information that informs a retailer's strategy and decisions. For example, the company may use the data to inform the type of promotions to run or coupons to offer. Retailers also provide customer feedback to their channel partners. This feedback can let suppliers know the demand for products and if products are being offered at the right time and the right place. If products are not selling well in a retail establishment, the retailer and channel partners can look to customer feedback to determine the issue and resolve it. Careers in marketing. Distribution. There is much to consider with distribution channels. Learn more about the distribution channel types, impact of the digital age, and choosing a distribution channel, and read examples of making distribution channels work in this article. Learn in this article how to use distribution to a sales advantage. And while we want everything to run smoothly, it rarely does all the time. Learn about how things could go wrong and options for managing these situations. Now that you've had a chance to understand what distributors do, does a career in distribution interest you? There are several types of jobs in distribution. Do your research and learn about the types. Start by reading this article to learn the differences between a distribution manager, industrial production manager, and a purchasing manager. You will learn about the needed degree of study, necessary skills, potential job growth, and median salary. Run a Google search on distribution careers, and you'll be shown numerous job postings. This is a great way to gain insight into the career specifics with multiple companies. Knowledge check. It's time to check your knowledge on the concepts presented in this section. Refer to the answer key at the end of the book for feedback. One-channel members that generally do not manufacture goods, but rather buy them from another channel member and sell them to the consumer are said to be practicing manufacturing, wholesaling, retailing, inventory. 2. Which of the following is not a function of retailing? Buying in large quantities and selling to other businesses for the purpose of reselling them to consumers. Providing assortment and variety of products. Holding inventory. Providing convenient location and store hours. 3. As a new entrepreneur, you are deciding whether to offer your customers a loyalty card that is linked digitally to technology. Which function of retailing would you be engaged in? Providing services to consumers. Holding inventory. Providing convenient location and hours of operation. Providing consumer communication. 4. A company that utilizes more than one channel in its distribution is using which type of strategy? Direct channel, direct-to-consumer channel, omnichannel. None of the above is correct. Five Schwan's company prepares frozen foods to be delivered to the door of the consumer. Which of the following is the most likely distribution channel for Schwan? S. Manufacturer, agent, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. Manufacturer, retailer. Manufacturer, consumer. Manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer. Learning outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. Characterize various store retailers. 2. Characterize various non-store retailers. Retailers, in some form or another, have been around for most of human history. As early as 800 BCE in ancient Athens, Greece, business people sold their goods in developed markets at the city's center. 8. Throughout history, this type of business has grown and become more specialized based on the needs of customers and the ability we now have to travel fairly easily. Today, retailers are often defined by their product lines, a group of products that are related to one another. Retailers are broken into two main categories, store or non-store retailers, which are further broken into retail types. Retail types are defined by their product lines. See Table 18.1 for a breakdown of retail types, the typical product focus for that retail type, and examples of retailers that fall into that type. Retail type product focus example. Store retailers, specialty store single product line AutoZone. Department store wide variety of product lines JCPenney, Kohl's. Supermarket multiple product lines, focused mostly on grocery with limited services Publix, Kroger, Save a Lot. Superstore combination of supermarket and department store Target, Walmart. Convenience store limited range of everyday items 7-Eleven. Speedway, category killer very large superstores with wide product lines within a category Best Buy. Lowe's, Home Depot, Staples, Office Depot. Discount store broad range of products with few or no services Dollar General. Dollar Tree, Family Dollar. Off-price retailer brand name Overstock, Irregulars and Closeouts Tea. J. Max Ross, factory outlet overstock or over-manufactured brand name items, usually clothing. Typically in a mall setting with other factory outlets, Sawgrass Mills Factory Outlet, Indiana Premium Outlets, Osage Outlets. Hands Outlet LL. Bean Outlet, Warehouse Club bulk items at discount for paid membership, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco. Non-store retailers vending machines, direct mail catalogs, television home shopping online, telemarketing. Direct selling, automatic vending, unmanned with very limited product line, located in places store retailers, are not snack and beverage machines in a hospital waiting room. Direct mail and catalogs, limited product lines, advertised through the mail Tiffany & Co. Blue Book LL. Bean Finger Hut, television home shopping, limited product lines, advertised on television home shopping network. QVC, online retailing, can be wide or limited product lines of products, offered for sale via the internet Amazon. Telemarketing, very limited product line, sold via the telephone. Direct selling, very limited product line, sold by salespeople who are very knowledgeable about the product and sell directly to a business or end user. Used in B2C, but more often in B2B. Kirby Vacuums, B2C. Publishing companies, B2B. Technology companies, B2B. Table 18. 1 Types of retailers. Store retailers. Retailers tend to be the easiest of the channel members to identify because we see them everywhere we go, both in person and online. A store retailer is a traditional brick-and-mortar establishment where products are displayed for customers to purchase. Store retailers can be categorized in many ways based on their strategy mix, which includes a combination of store hours, location, product assortment, and prices. 9. As the number of store retailers has decreased significantly over the years due to their higher operating costs, some companies have found more innovative ways to provide their products in a similar setting. For example, Amazon Go is a store retailer that allows customers to shop in store, but has eliminated the use of cashiers and long lines. As customers choose the products they want, the automated store keeps track of the purchase and charges the customers when they exit the store. 10. Specialty stores. Specialty stores focus on selling a single type of product or a single product line. The employees of specialty stores are often very knowledgeable about the products they sell and offer high levels of customer service. For example, when you need a new battery in your car, you may head straight to AutoZone, a retailer specializing in vehicle parts. When you arrive, an associate will be able to assist you in choosing the correct battery for the make and model of your car, and sometimes they may be able to install it for you. Department stores. Department stores are typically larger than specialty stores and have separate areas or departments for similar product lines. For example, areas could include shoes, kids' clothing, housewares, and so on. Each compartmentalized area may mimic the look and feel of a specialty store to make for a more intimate experience. But often the sales associates are not highly trained in each area. For example, Kohl's, a department store chain in the United States, has separate departments containing women's fashion, shoes, kitchenware, and toys. Supermarkets. A supermarket is defined as a store that mostly focuses on a product mix of grocery items, but also carries household and personal items and offers limited services. One example is Publix, an employee-owned supermarket chain that opened in 1930 and has nearly 1,000 stores in the southeastern United States. 11 Publix's average retail size is roughly 32,000 square feet, and more than 50% of its shelves are dedicated to grocery items. The other 50% consists of cleaning items, toiletries, over-the-counter medicines, beer liquor, and personal hygiene products. Like most supermarkets, Publix also offers a deli, a bakery, hot food bars, a pharmacy, some apparel, and sometimes even pool supplies, toys, and other non-food items. Convenience stores. Named for their convenient location, a convenience store is a small retail business that stocks a limited range of everyday items, such as groceries, snacks, soft drinks, tobacco, toiletries, and lottery tickets. See Figure 18. 4. In the United States, convenience stores are most often linked to gas stations. Convenience stores offer consumers the convenience of stopping to fill up their tank and running inside for a few essential items without having to drive to a supermarket or other retailer. The first convenience store in the United States opened in Texas in 1927 and later became known as 7-Eleven. In 2020, there were approximately 150,000 convenience stores in the United States. 12. An assortment of candy and chips are shown in the center of a convenience store. Coolers with cold beverages line the wall. Figure 18. For a convenience store is a type of retail store that is conveniently located and carries limited items. Credit, Wawa Miami by Philip Pessar/Flickr, CC by 20. Superstores. Superstores are very large retailers that have characteristics of both supermarkets and department stores. See Figure 18.5. Like supermarkets, they sell a wide range of grocery items. But they also have considerable space dedicated to non-food departments, as do department stores. Target operates 1,927 retail stores in the United States. Some of its stores are considered superstores, where consumers can purchase not only, nearly, everything on their grocery list, but also clothing, household goods, electronics, toys, and sporting equipment. A Target storefront shows its trademark bullseye to the left of the store name and over the store entrance. Figure 18. 5 Target is a type of superstore that sells a wide variety of personal and grocery items. Credit: Target by Mike Mozart, Jeepers Media/Flickr, CC by 20. Category killers. Category killers are large superstores or big box retailers that are bigger, cheaper, and more convenient than other types of stores. Because of their sheer size, they have the advantage of buying products in very large quantities, which gives them a strong negotiation position for the price they pay to distributors. In turn, they can then offer discounted prices to consumers. These stores are called category killers because they often put nearby specialty stores out of business. Home Depot and Lowe's are considered category killers because of their exhaustive inventory selection and low prices. The popularity of this big box format means that smaller hardware stores may find it difficult to compete. Discount stores. During the 2008 recession, many retailers began closing their doors. But Dollar General was one retailer that saw exponential growth during this time. 13 Dollar General and competitor Dollar Tree are discount stores, stores that sell a broad range of products at lower prices than competitors. While discount stores offer lower prices and often less variety than competitors, they often also offer fewer services and little customer service. As inflation put pressure on household budgets in 2022, shoppers from a range of income levels turned to dollar stores to save money on everyday necessities. Link to learning. Dollar stores and the community. Learn more about the impact dollar stores have on the community and commerce. It's not always positive. Experts speak in this video about the potential negative impact and issues. Off-price retailers. Retailers that provide high-quality, name-brand goods at deeply discounted prices are considered off-price retailers. These retailers often purchase brand names that are irregular, closeouts, overstock, and off-season. While these retailers offer goods within more than one product line, often consumers cannot be guaranteed to find the same brand or item in a store twice. TJ Maxx, one of the largest clothing retailers in the country, utilizes this strategy. The company's buyers purchase overordered or over-manufactured products from distributors at deeply discounted prices. This merchandise is then offered to the consumer at lower prices than can be found in department stores. Factory outlets. In some ways, factory outlets are similar to off-price retailers. See Figure 18.6. The goods found in factory outlets are typically over-manufactured and sold at lower prices. However, factory outlet goods are sold directly from the manufacturer rather than through a third party. Many clothing manufacturers have factory outlets, which are typically clustered together in a factory outlet mall, a space where numerous factory outlets are located. For example, you may see Coach, Gap, or Land's end stores in outlet malls. Sawgrass Mills Factory Outlet, located in Sunrise, Florida, is the largest factory outlet mall in the United States. It houses over 350 factory outlet stores, including Adidas, Lego, and Zales. 14. The words fashion outlet are over the entranceway to an outlet. Large stores are on either side of the sign. Figure 18. 6 factory outlet stores offer lower-priced items sold directly from the manufacturer. Credit: DSCF 1532, JPG by J. Conrath/Flickr, CC by 2. 0. Warehouse clubs. Warehouse clubs, see Figure 18.7, are a type of retailer that sells goods in bulk at discounted prices to members only. Shoppers must first become members of the warehouse club before they are allowed to purchase. Costco and Sam's Club are two of the largest warehouse clubs in the United States, and both offer a limited variety of perishable and non-perishable goods. Warehouse clubs operate out of enormous, no-frills, low-cost facilities that resemble warehouses. Costco Wholesale is written on the storefront above the doors. People are walking in and out of the doors. Figure 18. 7 Costco is a warehouse club that offers bulk items at a discount. Consumers can only enter if they are paid members. Credit: Costco East Lyme, Connecticut, by J. Jabers/Flickr, CC by 20. Non-store retailers. Non-store retailers are those retailers that operate outside of the traditional brick-and-mortar location. There are 6 main types of non-store retailers, and we will examine each in the following sections. Automatic vending. Also referred to as vending machines, automatic vending is the use of an electronic device that dispenses a product. See Figure 18. 8. There is no direct human contact in the transaction. Traditionally, automatic vending machines would dispense items such as potato chips, candy, and soft drinks. However, more recently, companies have found automatic vending to be successful with other items, from cell phones to hot meals to automobiles. Carvana is an automatic vending, non-store retailer. Using Carvana, consumers can purchase their cars online, complete with financing, and pick up their vehicles at one of its vending machines or have it delivered with little or no human interaction needed. Debuting its 27th car vending machine in Atlanta, Georgia. In 2020, Carvana now has a location that is 12 stories high and holds 43 vehicles. 15. The company unveiled its first car vending machine in 2012, taking automobile shopping and automatic vending to a whole new level. A tall Carvana building is made of glass. Through the glass, you can see a car on each floor of the building. The word Carvana is at the top of the building. Figure 18. 8. Carvana features automobile vending machines that allow consumers to purchase cars online and have them delivered. Credit: Carvana DeLorean Back to the Future Time Machine by Zombieite/Flickr, CC by 20. Direct mail and catalogs. Direct mail involves solicited or unsolicited advertising of products and services to prospective customers through the mail. Figure 18. 9. Direct mail and catalogs are likely the oldest form of non-store retailing. The first mail-order catalog in the United States was Tiffany & Co.'s Blue Book in 1845. 16. The company still uses catalogs in addition to store retail locations, and the catalogs feature some of the rarest diamonds and jewels in the world. A more popular mail-order catalog that began in the 1800s was the Sears Roebuck & Co. catalog, the Big Book, which came to feature hundreds of pages of products offered by the company. The last was published in 1993. With the rise of the internet, catalogs and direct mail are not as prevalent in marketing today, but it is still a retailing strategy that works for many companies. A pile of catalogs. The Patagonia catalog is visible on the top of the pile. Figure 18. 9. Direct mail offers products to consumers via advertisements sent through the mail. Credit: Catalog by Nicolas Boulosa/Flickr, CC by 20. Television home shopping. Another example of a non-store retailer is television home shopping. Television home shopping primarily targets women over the age of 40 and is a business practice in which products or services are sold via television. There are some cable network stations that are dedicated solely to home shopping 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One example is QVC, which stands for Quality, Value, and Convenience. The company was founded in 1986 and purchased its rival home shopping network, HSN, in 2017. It generated $1 billion in profits in 2018. 17. The 2015 Hollywood movie Joy, starring Jennifer Lawrence, showcases real-life entrepreneur Joy Mangano and the power of QVC as a non-store retailer. Similar to online shopping, consumers can order products directly from a company via telephone or the internet. Unlike the internet and direct mail catalogs, however, viewers can see the product being demonstrated or modeled in real time. While QVC hosts are demonstrating products, control room employees are able to monitor sales in real time as they are placed. Online retailing. Online retailing allows consumers to search and purchase products remotely over the internet. Although the internet's public birthday is debatable, online retailing started shortly thereafter. Though Amazon, started by Jeff Bezos in 1995 as a book retailer, was not the first online retailer. Its inception prompted thousands of companies to follow suit. In 2021, U.S. consumers spent $5.4 trillion at online retail stores, a figure that is expected to increase. It is anticipated that, by 2023, online shopping will make up 22% of retail sales across the globe. 18. Telemarketing. Telemarketing is the attempted sale or marketing of goods and services to potential customers via telephone. The telephone has been used as a sales tool since shortly after its invention. The 1970s, however, was the decade when technology became advanced enough that call centers, a centralized location or department that handles calls from customers, became an economical way of contacting potential customers. Over the next few decades, telemarketing became a staple in marketers' strategies. But this resulted in consumers being annoyed with these calls and a rise in scamming calls, particularly those targeting the elderly. In 1991, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, addressed this problem with new rules for telemarketers, but it was not until 2003 that the Do Not Call Registry was created. Even with these changes, legitimate and non-legitimate telemarketing finds its way onto phones. While many legitimate companies still utilize this form of non-store retailing, telemarketing is generally used and more widely accepted in business-to-business B2B settings. Direct selling. Direct selling is selling products and services directly to the consumer in a non-retail setting. Direct selling typically consists of a salesperson attempting to sell a product or service to a potential customer at their residence or place of employment. This practice was very popular in the 1950s and 1960s when women were often stay-at-home mothers and/or homemakers. Salespeople would bring the product, a vacuum, for example, to the consumer's home and demonstrate its benefits in an attempt to make a sale. With the rise of two-income families and the internet, direct selling is not used frequently today in the consumer market. It is, however, still a widely used practice in B2B. However, it remains effective for some companies, such as Kirby, which still sends salespeople door-to-door to sell its vacuums. Knowledge check. It's time to check your knowledge on the concepts presented in this section. Refer to the answer key at the end of the book for feedback. 1. After class, Drew realized that the cafeteria was closed, so instead he purchased a candy bar and soft drink from a vending machine. Which type of retailing did Drew utilize? Factory outlet, automatic vending, warehouse club, direct mail. 2. Of the following, which retailing strategy would be most appropriate for customers who are neither tech-savvy nor able to shop at store retailers? Automatic vending, television home shopping, warehouse clubs, online retailing. 3. After school, Adrian decides to stop at the local Costco. Unfortunately, the store won't allow him in unless he first purchases a membership. Which type of retailer has Adrian entered? Factory outlet, warehouse club, discount store, superstore. 4. Retailers providing high-quality goods at discounted prices are called superstores, discount stores, off-price retailers, warehouse clubs. 5. Some manufacturers operate their own retail locations. When they are left with excess inventory, they often provide these to what type of retail locations? Factory outlets, warehouse clubs, department stores, discount stores. Learning outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. Describe how pricing affects retail strategy decisions. 2. Explain how location is a factor in retail strategy decisions. 3. Discuss the importance of retailer communications. 4. Explain how merchandise affects retail strategy decisions. Retailing strategy decisions. Retail marketers and other retail business leaders need to determine which retail strategy will work best for the products they sell. Recall that retailers often buy in bulk, break down that bulk into smaller units, and sell to the end consumer. As you may also recall, value refers to a perceived worth of a product based on its service, price, and utility provided. As marketers are determining the optimal strategy for the products and services being offered, value again becomes an important factor. The 3 most important items to consider in retail strategy that factor directly into value are pricing, location, and merchandise. See Figure 18. 10. Because retailers sell goods and services often produced by another company, communication with channel members is another important topic. Let's look at retail strategy decisions more closely. The 3 most important items in the retail strategy decision are pricing, location, and merchandise. Figure 18. 10 retail strategy decisions, attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 40 license. Retail pricing: retailers will determine the price for their product based on many factors, including their cost to purchase the product, shipping, storing, and other overhead expenses associated with the business. For store retailers, overhead expense is typically much higher than it is for online retailers, considering the brick-and-mortar location, decoration of the store, storage, employee salaries, shrinkage, loss due to spoilage and theft, and other factors. The goal of the retailer, just like any for-profit business, is to make money. Therefore, retailers must consider not only their own cost of doing business, but what consumers are willing to pay for the products and services they sell. Markup: markup is the additional amount added to the price retailers purchase goods for. Often conveyed as a percentage, markup is the retail selling price minus the initial purchase price, divided by the initial purchase price, times 100. Here is the formula. Markup percentage equals selling price minus purchase price times 100. For example, say you manage a footwear retailer. You are interested in selling a new line of tennis shoes that you purchase for $50 a pair. You decide to sell these new sneakers to consumers for $75 a pair. What is your markup? Your markup is 50%, as shown here. Initial markup equals 75 minus $50 times 100 equals 50%. The easiest way many retailers choose a markup is to use a strategy that doubles the wholesale price, known as keystone pricing. Generally speaking, retailers tend to mark up prices somewhere around 50%. However, this can vary greatly from industry to industry. For example, retail grocers have a markup of around 15%, while clothing is generally marked up anywhere from 100% to 300%. 20. Original and maintain markup. There is a difference in markup from when it's originally set to what is actually realized when the product sells. Using the shoe retail business example, you determined your markup is 50%. This is known as the original markup, the markup that you have decided upon at the onset of placing the shoes for sale, which includes the original price to purchase the shoes and the cost of the shoes to the consumer. Using the above shoe store example, your original markup percentage is 50%. What price the product actually sells for is considered the maintained markup. In your shoe store, let's say you anticipated selling 100 pairs of shoes this month, but you only sold 75. As such, your original markup has been decreased. The maintained markup is the actual markup realized on the product that is sold to the consumer. It is the difference between the cost of goods sold and the actual retail price of the goods when sold. It is based on actual sales, not planned sales. Markdowns: maintained markup also accounts for markdowns, which were not factored into the original markup. A markdown is a price decrease for a product that is at the end of its life cycle or season. Markdowns assist retailers in selling through inventory by increasing temporary demand for products through a lower price offering. If there is low demand for the 25 pairs of tennis shoes remaining in your inventory, you may consider marking them down to $60, then again to $50, and so on. Ideally, markdowns will, at the very least, cover the wholesale cost of the goods. Markdowns lower the maintained markup and the retailer's gross profit. Gross margin: gross margin refers to the actual sales dollars received, net sales, minus the cost of goods sold. It is the amount of profit made before deducting selling, general, and administrative cost, and is calculated as a percentage. Let's say that you sold 75 pairs of shoes at $80, but had to mark down the remaining 25 pairs to $50 a pair. To determine your gross margin, you calculate net sales and deduct the cost of goods sold. Here is the net sales formula. 75 pairs of shoes times 80 equals $6. $0 in net sales. 25 pairs of shoes times 50 equals $1. 250 in net sales. Total net sales equals $6. 0 plus $1, $250 equals $7. $250 the cost of goods sold, COGS. Calculation is as follows. COGS equals 100 pair of shoes times 40 equals $4,000. The gross margin calculation is as follows. Margin: total net sales minus $4,000 cost of goods sold, that is your gross profit. Then gross profit of $3,250 divided by total net sales, $7,250 equals 0. 4483 times 100 equals 44. 83% profit margin. Store location. An age-old saying in retailing and real estate is that the three most important variables in choosing where to establish a business are location, location, and location. If consumers cannot find or easily access a store retailer, they will not spend their time looking, but instead will take their business elsewhere. Retailers will look at location selection from many angles, including how far away a competitor is located, how many of the same store, for chain stores, are within a certain driving distance, how many miles the average consumer would have to drive to reach the location, and how easy it is to access the location. For example, if you live in a smaller, rural town, there may be a regular Walmart but not a Walmart supercenter. Why? Consider the population size of your town, the number of competitors, and how close the nearest Walmart supercenter is located. Retailers such as Walmart know exactly the distance consumers are willing to drive to do their shopping. Perhaps there is a Walmart supercenter within the distance they know consumers are willing to drive, so they have no need to add one to your town. In determining location, retailers also must decide if their business is better suited to a freestanding location, a business district or strip mall, or another type of location. Let's examine several types of locations. Link to learning success in small towns. With the rise of large retailers, such as Walmart, smaller mom-and-pop stores have struggled to compete in the last few decades. In small towns and rural areas, this has presented an economic problem. However, some retailers are finding new success in locating in these areas. Watch this clip on how dollar stores is finding its niche in towns where many other retailers have closed their doors. Central Business District. A central business district, CBD, is the commercial and business center of a given city or town, see Figure 1811. While it is usually centrally located, its chief characteristic is its proximity to the largest number of people. Manhattan is the world's largest central business district. One of New York City's 5 boroughs, Manhattan is home to dozens of neighborhoods and hundreds of businesses, tourist attractions, and retail establishments. It has the highest retail rent in the world. 21. In smaller towns and cities, these downtown areas slowly started to decline with the growth of larger nearby cities. However, many cities are now working hard to restore their downtown and town square areas and turn central business districts into thriving areas once again. An aerial photograph of the Chicago skyline shows tall skyscrapers along a body of water. The tallest buildings are concentrated toward the back of the photo, while smaller buildings appear on the right side of the photograph. Figure 18. 11. A central business district, like downtown Chicago, is the commercial center of a city or town. Credit: Aerial view of high-rise buildings in Chicago's Gold Coast and Magnificent Mile areas by Marco Verch/Flickr. CC by 2. Regional shopping centers. Regional shopping centers, commonly referred to as shopping malls, offer general merchandise or fashion-oriented products and services. See Figure 18. 12. They are enclosed buildings with access to retailers through a common walkway. Most regional malls have 1 to 4 anchor stores, large, well-known department stores, and numerous smaller specialty stores, as well as restaurants and activities. This blend of shopping and entertainment is sometimes known as retailtainment. For example, the Mall of America, located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, houses not only department and specialty stores, but also numerous restaurants, a cinema, an aquarium, and a theme park. 22 people are walking through a multi-level shopping mall. The stores are visible on the sides, and the roof is made of glass. Figure 18. 12 regional shopping centers, also known as shopping malls, provide access to retailers through a common walkway and often have 1 to 4 anchor stores. Credit: Lisboa/Lisbon/Lisbon Explore by Bert Kaufman/Flickr. CC by 2. Regional shopping centers typically service consumers who live anywhere from 5 to 15 miles away. 23 regional shopping centers are becoming scarcer due to retailers moving into strip malls, an increase in internet shopping, and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is not unusual to see regional shopping centers primarily deserted, sometimes called zombie malls, or transformed into non-retail office space. Strip malls are classified by an attached row of retail stores offering both products and services. See Figure 18. 13. Consumers enter stores from outside the building, and unlike in regional shopping centers, there is no internal walkway that links storefronts. 24. There is a sidewalk running in front of and connecting the individual stores. Strip malls often service neighborhoods within 1 mile of their location, and stores are generally the same size as one another. Storefronts are visible from the parking lot. Each storefront takes up about the same amount of space, and the store names are placed above an awning. Figure 18. 13. A strip mall is a collection of retail stores that consumers enter from outside the building. Credit 20,090,1112.001 by Jarchi/Flickr, CC by 20. While strip malls are as old as regional shopping centers, they did not become more popular than regional centers until the late 1990s. The biggest draw to strip malls for consumers was that they did not have to walk through an entire regional shopping center to reach one store, yet could shop at multiple stores if desired. Department stores, factory outlets, and off-price retailers are often found in strip malls, along with specialty stores, service-oriented retail businesses, and restaurants. Freestanding retail locations are those store retailers that are not attached to any other retailer or establishment. Freestanding locations are more prevalent in smaller, less populated areas due to space. Gas stations, convenience stores, and superstores often occupy freestanding locations because they do not need anchors to pull consumers in. Freestanding locations are often less expensive to buy or lease as they are not anchored to established prime retail. In addition, retailers that choose a freestanding location often have fewer restrictions on design of the location, unlike those required of strip mall operators. On the other hand, these locations lack the foot traffic that may be gained from other types of retailers. 25. Aside from the physical location of the retailer, decisions about exactly how the store is laid out and where products will be shelved is equally important. When you enter a grocery store, for example, you may note that the customer service center is often toward the front, allowing quick access to the services provided. You may also note that the milk, one of the most purchased products in grocery stores, is often located in the back of the store. If it is purchased so frequently, why put it in the back? Most likely consumers will grab a few other items on their way to or from the back of the store, increasing the dollars spent. Even the atmosphere of the retail location has been studied by retailers over the years. What does it smell like? What is the temperature? What music is playing? How is it decorated? Each of these considerations plays an important overall role in developing a retailing strategy based on the target market. Omnichannel marketing refers to an integrated approach and cooperation by the various channels to ensure a consistent brand message to customers. 26. Consider Starbucks and its mobile app. The Starbucks Mobile Rewards app is designed for customers to have a similar experience to that of walking inside the store or even visiting its website. Utilizing an omnichannel strategy provides many advantages to both the consumer and company that might be otherwise more difficult to achieve. Omnichannel marketing provides increased access to products and improved brand visibility and allows for more personalization. This provides customers with a consistent experience with the brand regardless of where they experience it. Customers continue to look for ways to order products online, particularly as the world became more accustomed to purchasing from home during COVID-19 lockdowns. This has required the companies within distribution channels to reassess the way products and services get to the consumer. An omnichannel approach allows organizations to maximize the shopping experience for the consumer by integrating multiple delivery and engagement options. 27. Link to learning omnichannel revolution. Consumers have high expectations of their online and in-person retailers. Learn from this TED Talk about the future of retailing from an eyewear company that is looking to revolutionize the retail experience. Also read about how you can use omnichannel experiences to create profits and the difference between omnichannel and multi-channel experiences. Retailer communication. Retailers communicate to both their consumers and other channel members. The communication to consumers must be clear and concise to let potential customers know exactly what is being offered. While retailers develop communication strategies to directly reach their consumers, they will also collaborate on communication strategies with channel partners. For example, a Target commercial may feature a sale on Kellogg's cereal. The retailer and the manufacturer have worked together on a joint message for the consumer. Consider a second example. When you walk into a bookstore and see the latest release of a popular author's book in the front of the store display, the bookstore and the publisher have collaborated on all elements of that display. Signage, how the book story is conveyed, display setup, etc. This upward flow of communication is also important in a distribution channel. Retailers are on the front line of the exchange with consumers. Therefore, they can relay communication regarding products upward to other channel members. Assume a product that is sold primarily at retailers is being returned frequently because consumers are confused about how to use it. This information can be relayed back to the manufacturer, and the two can work together to overcome this challenge. It's important to remember that every member of the channel is in business to make money and add value to other channel members. So the more communication and cooperation the channel members have with one another, the more likely it is that they will all enjoy success. Merchandise coupled with location and price. The choice of retail strategy will largely depend on the type of merchandise being offered to the consumer. Merchandise is simply the goods that are being offered for sale by a retailer. For large superstores, merchandise can include hundreds or thousands of pieces of merchandise, while smaller specialty stores stock narrow but deep product lines. Retailers pay close attention to their choice of merchandise in terms of category management. Category management refers to a grouping of similar products into categories based upon consumer usage. The concept allows marketers to decrease competition between similar products and also buy similar product bundles at lower cost. Most retail chain stores use category management as a way to lower costs. For example, suppose a retailer has 20 stores across the country. Rather than having a buyer from each location analyze prices and find the best supplier for their location, a centralized group of people negotiates prices and contracts for all retail locations. The time and money that the retailer saves add up when done for all or most products carried. Knowledge check. It's time to check your knowledge on the concepts presented in this section. Refer to the answer key at the end of the book for feedback. 1. After trying to sell a line of clothing at your retail location, you decide to change the price from $25 to $15. Which pricing strategy have you used? Markup, original markup, maintained markup, markdown 2. A superstore chain is planning to open an establishment in the town Levi lives in. Which of the following would be the most likely location for this superstore? Central Business District, Strip Mall, freestanding location, Regional Shopping District 3. You are interested in opening a small retail location that sells handmade jewelry in the small, rural town you reside in. Which of the following would be your best choice of location? Department store, Regional Shopping Center, Central Business District, automatic vending 4. Pablo is trying to determine their gross margin at the end of the quarter. Which is the correct equation? Units sold times selling price, units purchased times purchase price, net sales less cost of goods sold, unit cost plus the sale price 5. Which of the following has had the most impact on a customer's access to product, brand visibility, and personalization? Omnichannel marketing, freestanding retail locations, retail communication, strip malls. Learning outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. List major trends and developments in retailing. 2. Discuss the reason for these trends and developments. Trends in retailing. As consumer behavior changes and as technology advances, marketers must make changes to stay relevant in the minds of their target market. During the late 1800s, the department store began the transition away from small mom-and-pop stores. In the 1920s, the first supermarket opened. In the 1950s, door-to-door selling was in full swing. In the 1980s, infomercials became mainstream. In the 1990s, online shopping got its start. In the 2000s, traditional brick-and-mortar stores began online sales. The rise of social media began in 2007, which created new selling opportunities. see Figure 18. 14. Then, in 2017, the United States saw a slight shift back toward traditional store retailers. But alas, in 2020, as the COVID-19 pandemic arose, that shift reversed again to online. These are just a few examples of how retailing has evolved with the times in the last century. As consumers get busier with their work and social lives, retailers find new ways to create value with the products they are selling. Let's take a deeper look at some of the more recent trends in retailing. Logos for different social media companies are shown on cubes. Social media companies shown include Instagram, Blogger, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Snapchat, Facebook, and YouTube. Figure 18. 14 social media created new selling opportunities for marketers. Credit. Social media mix 3D icons, mix 1 by How to Start a Blog Online. Net/blogtrepreneur/Flickr, CC by 2. 0. Social commerce. Social commerce is the blend of e-commerce and social media. With the rise of social media, brands have found new ways to engage and create lasting relationships with consumers. Many brands use social media as an additional marketing tool to engage more personally with customers. Retailers can do so in a variety of ways, from shoppable posts to influencer videos and everything in between. Let's take a look at Macy's, an iconic American department store chain founded in 1858. Macy's has weathered many changes in the retail landscape, and today it utilizes social commerce in a variety of ways. In 2020, the company opened its ambassador program to people outside the company. Influencers who would promote Macy's products through affiliate links or shoppable videos on social media. 28. The pay is 5% commission on sales. Why this shift to working with influencers? Simple. Consumers tend to trust the opinion of influential individuals over company-created marketing. And for Macy's and numerous other retailers, the strategy has worked because social commerce grew 30% from 2019 to 2020. 29. As social media has grown since the inception of Facebook in 2004, marketers and social media apps alike have taken advantage of the ability of consumers to interact with brands and to purchase products directly in-app. For example, Instagram's shop and checkout feature allows consumers to purchase products immediately without ever leaving the app. 30. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the ability of consumers to purchase products while staying sheltered in place resulted in a change in behavior that is likely to endure in the coming years. Online stores in offline spaces. Have you ever purchased something online and picked it up at the store? This is what is referred to as online stores in offline spaces. While this practice was slowly gaining traction among larger retailers, the COVID-19 pandemic accelerated this trend drastically throughout nearly every industry. Retailers that already had the technology in place and/or were already testing such practices made a fairly easy transition to this new demand. Others closed their doors forever or scrambled to update their strategies to include some form of online sales. 31. Walgreens, the second largest pharmacy chain in the United States, was extremely successful in making such changes on the fly. In 2019, the company began allowing customers to order items online and pick them up at the drive-through window, which was previously primarily used for prescription pickup. Because the drive-through window was already established at Walgreens, it put them at a unique advantage to transition quickly to offer online orders in offline spaces. 32. Same-day delivery. While most might think of Amazon Prime as the originator of same-day package delivery, the concept has actually been around for decades, but was less prevalent in retail. Companies that offer legal and financial services have long had same-day delivery of their documents. In addition, restaurants have been offering guaranteed on-time delivery for some time. Florists have also offered one-day service for many years, particularly for funeral arrangements. And while Amazon Prime made the practice much more widespread throughout retailing, the now-defunct company Cosmo.com likely pioneered the practice in 1998. 33. Cosmo was an online retailer that promised one-hour delivery of videos, games, DVDs, music, mags, books, food, basics, and more, including Starbucks coffee. 34. The company was popular with young professionals and college students, but it couldn't stay afloat and closed in 2001. The company likely inspired the U.S. Postal Service Metro Post, which allowed Amazon to offer same-day delivery of packages in San Francisco in 2012. 35 Fast forward to today, and many retailers, including Amazon and Walmart, offer same-day delivery in larger, well-populated areas. The emergence of digital wallets are software-based systems that allow for secure transactions. Digital wallets were first used in the late 1990s, but today they offer more security and allow users to save numerous passwords and payment methods. The system allows users to quickly make online purchases without having to remember passwords or dig through their physical wallets to get cash. 36. They also allow users to pay for products and services in-store directly from their phones, allowing for touchless payments. If you are familiar with the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, you've likely used digital wallets. When you purchase online on one of these devices, an automated display will come up asking if you would like to save your login and payment information. Once saved, each time you log in to the same website or begin to make a purchase, the digital wallet will autofill your information. While digital wallets are a huge time saver for consumers, they also benefit retailers by capturing a sale that might have been lost due to inconvenience. Knowledge check. It's time to check your knowledge on the concepts presented in this section. Refer to the answer key at the end of the book for feedback. 1. Which of the following trends in retailing grew considerably during the COVID-19 pandemic? Social commerce, online stores and offline spaces, digital wallets, all of the above trends grew considerably. 2. Cam posts numerous times on TikTok and Instagram. As a result, she is asked to work as an influencer for a major retailer. Which trend in retailing is Cam a part of? Online stores and offline spaces, e-commerce, social commerce, same-day delivery. 3. Software-based systems that allow for secure transactions by storing passwords and payment information are known as e-commerce, online stores and offline spaces, social commerce, digital wallets. 4. Of the following, which is the most likely reason for an increase in online shopping? A pandemic, the shift from two-income to one-income families, more people retiring than ever before, the rise in regional shopping centers. 5. Which of the following is true of social commerce? Social media is on the decline. Very few brands and companies utilize social media. Social media is one way to incorporate omnichannel marketing. Social media decreases personalization with customers. Learning outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. Define wholesaling. 2. Identify different types of wholesalers. Wholesaling defined. Wholesaling is the business of buying goods in bulk at a discount from a manufacturer or other distribution channel member, and selling them to retailers for a higher price. Wholesalers are often referred to as middlemen because they are the entity that links the producer to the retailer. Unlike retailers, wholesalers generally do not interact with customers or have physical locations for them to visit. Wholesalers engage in a variety of business practices, including buying, storing, selling, and marketing. Wholesalers are integral marketing intermediaries, responsible for getting the right product to the right place at the right time and creating additional value for the customer and other channel members. Furthermore, wholesalers actually make the final price for consumers less because they purchase in bulk, whereas some smaller retailers could not afford to do so. There are several types of wholesalers, and each has its unique importance in the distribution channel. Types of wholesalers. In addition to the general importance noted above, each type of wholesaler plays a specific and integral role in getting products from a manufacturer to the end user. The decision of which type of wholesaler a retailer will utilize, or which type of wholesaling a wholesaler chooses, will largely depend on the type of product, the additional services needed, and often the industry as a whole. The following section examines the types of merchant wholesalers. See Figure 1815. A diagram uses overlapping circles shows the different types of wholesalers. The largest circle in the center is merchant wholesalers. 3 slightly smaller circles slightly overlap merchant wholesalers, but not each other. These circles are labeled manufacturers' agents, full-service wholesalers, and limited-service wholesalers. Each of these circles has slightly smaller circles overlapping them. Rack jobber is grouped with manufacturers' agents. Full line and limited line are grouped with full-service wholesalers. Rack jobber, drop shipper, cash and carry, and truck jobbers are grouped with limited service wholesalers. Figure 1815 types of merchant wholesalers. Attribution. Copyright Rice University, OpenStax, under CC by 40 license. Merchant wholesalers. Merchant wholesalers engage in buying, storing, and physically handling products in large quantities, and selling those products in smaller quantities to retailers. 37 merchant wholesalers are the most common form of wholesaling and can take on many responsibilities in the distribution channel to assist retailers. Merchant wholesalers are classified by the level of service they provide to retailers and include full-service wholesalers, limited-service wholesalers, and manufacturers' agents. Retailers and manufacturers will choose which type of wholesaler to work with based on their needs. Some large retailers, such as Walmart, may need fewer services from wholesalers than smaller specialty stores will need. As you continue to read, remember that wholesalers are a business, so they are in business to make money, but they also take on risk in doing so. Full-service wholesalers. Wholesalers that take on the most risk are full-service wholesalers. Full-service wholesalers offer retailers the most complete range of services, such as buying, selling, storage, transportation, sorting, and financing. This type of wholesaler likely has its own salespeople to assist retailers, and some assist in the stocking of the products on retailers' shelves. They often provide retailers lines of credit to purchase products now and pay at a later date. Merchant wholesalers focus on either general or specialty merchandise. Full-service wholesalers that offer an extensive list of merchandise for sale are known as general merchandise, full-line wholesalers. Retailers are able to purchase most, if not all, of their inventory from one wholesaler. For retailers, general merchandise wholesaling is convenient because it provides for greater availability and flexibility with product quantities. However, retailers need to be cautious in utilizing only one wholesaler for all of their needs, as they may find themselves in predicaments they cannot contractually be protected from, such as higher prices. Unlike general merchandise wholesalers, which focus on an extensive line of products, specialty wholesalers focus on a limited line of products. For example, Cisco, one of the country's largest food service wholesalers, focuses on limited product lines, such as food and food service supplies. 38. The company's target market includes hospitals and nursing homes, schools and colleges, and other entities that offer food service on a large scale. You might be surprised to learn that your high school cafeteria or college commons is served by Cisco. 39. The company offers a host of services to its customers, such as financing, consultation, menu assistance, and food production. Limited service wholesalers. As the name suggests, limited service wholesalers offer a limited range of services to retailers. These wholesalers often compensate for the lack of services by offering lower prices than full-service wholesalers. For example, a limited-service wholesaler may not be able to offer retailers financing or stocking services, but it may purchase excess inventory from full-service wholesalers or manufacturers at a deeply discounted rate and in turn offer a better price to retailers. Limited-service wholesalers offer retailers many services to increase value. Rack jobbers are companies that work with retailers to display and sell a product in store. These items are often not products that the retailer would ordinarily stock and are budget-friendly items. For example, when you enter a gas station and see a rack of cell phone chargers and accessories, it is likely that they are from a rack jobber. The rack jobber stocks and maintains the cell phone display, and the gas station receives a portion of the sales. The advantage to the retailer is that it is not responsible for ordering products or maintaining and stocking displays. It is almost like passive income. The biggest disadvantage to retailers is that rack jobbers may over- or underorder products or fail to maintain displays as frequently as needed. Cash and carry wholesalers are those that offer a limited line of fast-moving goods that they sell to retailers for cash. Because these wholesalers do not have to have massive amounts of storage space and do not offer services, they are able to offer products at lower prices. They also do not often deliver products, so they do not have overhead related to transportation. The advantage to the retailer is lower prices. But the disadvantages include no guarantee of product, the expense of transportation, and the demand for cash payment. Drop shippers are retailers that use suppliers to ship products directly to the end consumer. In this case, retailers sell the product to the consumer, but they don't actually ever take possession, stock on a shelf, have inventory, etc. of the product. The retailer only pays for the product after the consumer pays for and receives the order. Drop shipping is advantageous to retailers because they do not assume much risk since they do not take possession of the product. However, the profit margins for drop shippers are usually lower than utilizing other wholesalers because the wholesaler assumes all the risk. Truck jobbers are wholesalers that make calls to retailers carrying goods on a truck. They carry a small inventory of the same product or small product lines, such as milk or bread. Because they have inventory in the truck, they can stop at a retailer, take the order, and deliver it within the same call. Truck jobbers are most often used for perishable foods that cannot sit in a warehouse waiting to be ordered. Manufacturers' agents or representatives. The final, and perhaps least common, type of wholesaler is a manufacturer's agent or manufacturer's representative. Unlike the other types of wholesalers mentioned above, agents do not take possession of any product at any time. Rather, manufacturers' agents are independent contractors who act as salespersons for multiple manufacturers to sell similar, but not competing, products to retailers. The agent provides advantages to both the manufacturer and the retailer. This is particularly true for smaller manufacturers, where the expense and management of a sales force would likely not be feasible. Rather, an agent can take on the responsibility of working with the retailers or wholesalers to sell the product. 40. Knowledge check. It's time to check your knowledge on the concepts presented in this section. Refer to the answer key at the end of the book for feedback. 1. Which of the following best describes wholesalers? Businesses that buy in bulk at discounted prices and sell to retailers. Online stores and offline spaces. The final link between manufacturers and consumers. Businesses that produce goods and services. 2. Your friend Jesus wants to start a retailing business, but doesn't think he can afford space, nor does he wish to travel and make sales calls to retailers. Which of the following might be the best warehousing option for Jesus? Rack jobber, specialty wholesaler, cash and carry wholesaler, drop shipper. 3. The type of wholesaler that offers the most complete range of services is known as a rack jobber, cash and carry wholesaler, limited service wholesaler, general merchandise wholesaler. 4. Which type of wholesaler utilizes independent contractors as liaisons between manufacturers and retailers? Manufacturers' agents, rack jobbers, truck jobbers, full-line wholesalers. 5. Are companies that agree with retailers to display and sell products in store. Rack jobbers, cash and carry wholesalers, drop shippers, truck jobbers. Learning outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. Explain the impact of growing competition and global dynamics. 2. Discuss the complexity of regulatory requirements. 3. Discuss the challenges of technology evolution. Growing competition. Prior to 2019, most of us did not give much thought to the supply chain or its channel members. We went to the store and were welcomed with endless aisles of the products we were used to purchasing. However, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, the entire country became more in tune with channel members. Wholesalers were not unaffected by the disruption that the pandemic caused channel members, and new trends are on the horizon for wholesalers. Let's take a look at these recent trends that affect wholesaling. Wholesalers are a central link in the economy and supply chain. The industry is facing tough competition with new as well as non-traditional wholesalers entering the market. Just as consumers are demanding more convenient shopping experiences and increased value in products and services, retailers are demanding the same from their intermediaries. Wholesalers must find innovative and competitive business models to compete. The impact of global dynamics on the supply chain. Globalization has been integrating global markets for the past several decades, and supply chains have had to adjust to keep up with these changes. With products available from around the world at lower costs and retailers demanding faster deliveries, many wholesalers have expanded their operations in response to the rise of the global economy. This comes with its own set of challenges, such as an expanded sales force and the need to understand other economies, cultures, and languages. More recently, it has become apparent in the United States and around the world that supply chain participants were not prepared for disruptions such as those seen during the COVID-19 pandemic. Shortages of workers, products, containers, and long-haul truck drivers have proven to the industry that some major changes need to occur. Regulatory requirements and complexity. With advancements in technology and the need for consumer security, as well as the growing global economy, regulatory requirements also increase and become more complex. Wholesalers must understand such requirements in order to conduct business legally. For example, wholesalers need a special license to distribute restricted goods, such as alcohol, controlled drugs, firearms, and pesticides. Depending on the type of transportation mode being used, such as tractor-trailers hauling containers, special licensing may need to be obtained. Wholesalers also have a large responsibility when it comes to disposing of waste. More specific government regulations in regard to wholesalers include the Sale of Goods Act, which requires goods sold to be safe and include clear directions. 41. The government has also enacted various rules to protect consumers and to be able to trace products. Consumer protection. Caveat emptor, Latin for let the buyer beware, was a long-standing motto in commercial transactions, one that implies the buyer purchases at their own risk. However, consumer protection laws are now woven into the fabric of the economy. Regulations help keep sellers honest and consumers protected. In general, consumer protection regulations exist to prevent unethical or dangerous business practices throughout the distribution channel. These practices range from false advertising to predatory lending to scams and frauds. 42. Some of these will be discussed later in the chapter. Product traceability. Product traceability refers to the ability to track all processes for a product, from the procurement of raw materials to production, consumption, and disposal. Increasing numbers of consumers want to know exactly where their products are coming from and whether they are ethically sourced. 43. Aside from consumer demand, it is a crucial part of the distribution channel as product recalls become more common. For example, on January 6, 2022, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, announced a recall of over 25,000 pounds of ground beef. 44. Because of product traceability, the specific ground beef under the recall was able to be traced to a specific location, production date, and lot. Without product traceability, there may have been no way of knowing where the ground beef came from, forcing consumers to discard purchases of product that was not tainted. Additionally, product traceability helps combat counterfeit products by finding the originating source. Link to learning. Traceability standards. The GS1 Global Traceability Standard defines what is minimally acceptable for full supply chain traceability. It establishes a full system that traces products end to end. Read more about the standards and see how it's applied to food. Challenges of technology evolution. The advancement and increased use of technology has brought about both challenges and opportunities for wholesalers. Product traceability has become increasingly easier, for example. Orders are easier to make and track. However, technology is expensive and comes with a learning curve for new users. The increased demand of consumers and retail customers requires wholesalers to keep up with technological advancements to stay competitive. Knowledge check. It's time to check your knowledge on the concepts presented in this section. Refer to the answer key at the end of the book for feedback. 1. What does caveat emptor translate to in English? Buyer beware. Manufacturer beware. Retailer beware. Consumer protection. 2. Just saw on the news that chicken was recently recalled by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA. The news anchor specified which sell-by dates, manufacturer, and retailers were affected. Justja doesn't understand how the FDA can know with such specificity which chickens were affected. How would you describe to Justja this specificity? Increased competition. E-commerce. Caveat emptor. Product traceability. 3. Which of the following is not an advantage of product traceability? It makes it easier to trace counterfeit goods. It makes it easier to trace tainted food. It creates less work for distribution channel members. It makes it easier for consumers to know where products come from. 4. Which of the following is not a growing trend in wholesaling? Decreased government regulations, increased competition, increase in globalization, increase in technological advances. 5. Which regulation requires goods sold to be safe and include clear directions? Sale of Goods Act, Food and Drug Act, Caveat Emptor, Better Business Bureau, Learning Outcomes. By the end of this section, you will be able to 1. Discuss ethical issues in retailing. 2. Discuss ethical issues in wholesaling. Ethical issues in retailing. As with any business entity, ethical issues arise in both retailing and wholesaling. It can be easy to find oneself in an ethical dilemma while trying to meet consumer demands and stay competitive. There are several prominent ethical issues that arise specifically with retailing and wholesaling. Because retailers are the final link between manufacturer and consumer, ethical issues often arise in the practices used toward consumers. Common issues in retail include deceptive or misleading marketing, poor treatment of consumers, and misleading sales tactics. Unethical practices used by retailers. Although there has been a considerable rise in the number of consumers and advocacy groups calling out unethical business practices, many retailers still attempt to use tactics to sway consumers into purchasing products. Truly Organic, a retailer based in Miami Beach, Florida, came under attack by the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, in 2019 for misleading consumers into believing their products were 100% organic, which wasn't entirely true. 45. The case stated that Truly Organic was guilty of false or misleading advertising, an unethical marketing practice by which consumers are given false or misleading information about a product or service. Misleading or manipulative sales tactics is another common unethical practice used by retailers. Misleading sales tactics involve misleading the consumer with untrue information regarding a product or service. Subscription services used to be notorious for misleading sales tactics, as they offered a service or product for a free trial, but did not include in the promotion that the consumer would be charged every month after a free trial. There are many regulations that require such companies to disclose this information. Ethical issues in wholesaling. Just as retailers may face the temptation to be unethical toward consumers, wholesalers often find themselves in an ethical dilemma with their retail customers. 2 common ethical issues that arise in wholesaling surround fairness and pricing. Fairness and billing. Fairness can certainly be a subjective term. What you and your sibling may each deem as fair is based on your individual perspectives and opinions. In wholesaling and commerce in general, the government has enacted regulations to maintain fairness in business practices. You have probably heard the term monopoly. In the United States, monopolies are considered unfair business practices and thus are largely against FTC regulations. If one or a few businesses control all of an industry, the laws of supply and demand cease to exist because one company controls both. In the wholesaling industry, the same rules apply. If a wholesaler requires a retailer to sign very specific contracts that they will use no other wholesaler, the retailer is at the mercy of the wholesaler when it comes to everything surrounding their business's livelihood. Just as with fairness, wholesalers also need to pay close attention to their billing practices. Wholesalers and retailers agree on the billing method to be used in their contract. However, it is unethical for wholesalers to bill retailers for product never shipped or received, damaged product without recourse, or product not ordered. Companies with a conscience. Trader Joe's. In 1967 in Pasadena, California, the first Trader Joe's was opened. Today, the retail grocery chain has 505 stores in over 42 states, as well as an online presence. Trader Joe's has always been committed to improving sustainability in its channel. Unlike many competitors in the grocery industry, Trader Joe's donates 100% of its unsold products. It does not allow certain controversial products in the manufacturing of its private label goods and continues to make organic products more accessible. Additionally, the company has removed more than 6 million pounds of plastic from packaging and continues to have high rates of employee satisfaction. 46. The ethical decisions of Trader Joe's involve relationship building throughout the supply chain to ensure that each channel member upholds the high ethical standards that help enhance the customer experience. There are other supermarkets known for ethical practices. These include natural grocers, Sprouts, Costco, and Whole Foods.